Hello and welcome to my studio. I'm Naomi from Pigeon Art, and today we're going to be making a bed for the newest member of our family. This little cutie. Her name's Toffee, and we adopted her from the local pound it's now Monday, public holiday for us in Australia, and we adopted her on Friday. So only a few days ago. From the information we know, she is a Wolfhound and potentially cross, and she's 7 months old, but she's either younger than 7 months old or she's a cross Wolfhound with something else, because she's very undersized for a Wolfhound of 7 months old. We might even get a DNA test for her. It's good to know what breed your dog might be crossed with, because it'll give us a better idea of potential health problems. We're very excited. As you can tell, she's an absolute cutie. We've got this mattress that she's been sleeping on. We were using as a bed head for our spare bedroom, so that, you know, it was out of the way, and then if someone came over we needed an extra bed, that was an option for them too. It's a bit of an odd size. It's kind of wider than a single but a bit narrower as well, and it's just made out of foam. So I think if we cut in half we can get two beds for her out of the one, and it should still be big enough for her at full size. And I will need to sew up. So it's currently got fabric all the way around it, and when I cut in half it's going to end up with two raw sides. Puppies love eating foam and shredding it to pieces, so I will definitely be sewing it up the side that's raw, so that the temptation isn't there. And then I've got a spare fitted sheet that we can use, that I'm going to turn into a sheet for a couple of, maybe 3 or 4 sheets for the beds. And that means I'll be able to wash the sheets semi-regularly, and yeah, still have a couple of sheets there to use for her. So I'm going to share some footage of her now so you can see just how cute she is. And then we're going to get into the DIY. So we quickly worked out that cutting the foam was quite difficult. It's 10 centimeters of foam, and my scissors couldn't get through them in one swipe. So what I ended up doing, and Luke helped with using his knife, was I would shove the bottom blade of the scissors into the foam and only cut about half at a time. And then Luke did multiple passes with the knife. Bit messy, as you can see, but it got the job done. I'm a big advocate of using things you already own before you go out and buy things, and all of this project was done with things that I already owned and that we really weren't using. So I was playing around with it because it was quite loosely put, you won't be able to see that, at the bottom there. So I pulled it up so it would be more tightly, on properly. And turns out on this one anyway, there's enough to close it up without an extra piece of fabric. So I'm going to do that. That'll be easier. So I'll just, you know, fold in the raw edges and then sew it up, and then maybe just do a little tuck like that on the ends. So it won't look great, but this bit, remember, is going to be covered up by the sheet that I'm going to make in later afterwards. So I was filming out there, but I really couldn't see whether my camera was right, whether I was in frame or anything like that. So now that I've done the messy bit, which was cutting the foam, I'm going to do it inside. Toffee is still outside. She loves it out there, so she might pop in, but we'll see if we see her. She might not. I enjoyed being in the sun, so I'm sorry about the lighting there. The hand sewing took quite some time, so I just put a YouTube video on and started sewing. I worked out that if I used my pegs for the clothing line, I could hold the fabrics together, which made my life a little bit easier. And nothing was meant to be perfect on this project. I always say that done is better than perfect, and this one is especially so because it's for my dog. It's going to be covered with a sheet, and right now, the way it was before I started working on it, the mattress was just way too big. We couldn't put it anywhere except for behind the couch there, and every time we tried to go over her, we had to walk over her bed and sometimes her. So now it's a bit easier for us to get around her, and we can have one bed behind the couch, another one somewhere else, or whatever. We have more options to where we can put it. So I needed this done because it was a bit of a pain having that huge bed for her. She's off. You have to really catch her. Do you approve? Do you approve? Oh, it's a much better size. Look at that. Yeah, she's a good girl. What do you think of your bed? I think she approves. So as you can hear, I'm still recovering from the cold thing that I've just had. So I'm going to do my math here for the fitted sheet. I'm going to do it on camera, so if I mess up, I can come back and work out where I went wrong. But the bed is 92 by 106 by 10 centimeters high. I should be able to work out the fitted sheet from there. So let's say this is my bed. So the sheet needs to go from a little bit over here, let's call it 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters underneath, plus 10, plus 106, plus 10, plus 5. So 5. So I'm going to just double them. So instead of 5 and 5, it's 10. Plus, instead of 10 and 10, it's 20. Plus 106. And then do the same. 20 plus 106. No. Sorry, 92. And that should give me my measurements. Plus whatever that is, which I can probably work out right now. 136, 122. And now I'll just add a seam allowance as well of 3 centimeters. It's 1.5 on each end. 139 and 125. Once I've cut this out, I'll probably add like 1 centimeter here or something, and then I'll need to sew that to that. And keep the elastic for a future when I'm ready to use some elastic. Okay. now we should have a better idea of the width or length or whatever. It was 150 plus, let's call it 92. 9 and 5 is 14, so 242. So I should do the length in that, because I don't think I'm going to fit 2 in there, 2 width in there. So 125. Yes, perfect. With fabric, I normally try not to rip it. I will explain this a bit later in the video, but I don't like ripping fabric because to me it loses structural integrity. But again, with this, it will probably get eaten at one point or another by the puppy dogs who loves to eat things. I can make more with other spare sheets that either I have here that I don't use, or if I need be, I can go to the op shop and get another $3 sheet. So I'm not too worried about that. I've decided, because I haven't given myself a huge amount of room to work with, and because honestly this is a sheet for the dog's bed, so no one cares about this. I'm going to just zigzag stitch all the way around instead of hemming it, and then I'll add the elastic to it. So it won't be finished nicely, but I really didn't give myself much room to work with. If I take 10 centimeters from here, it only gives me about 6 to go over and under and cinch in. So I don't want her to be able to undo the sheet too easily, because she's a puppy, she probably will try to. You know, I would rather to have a sheet that I can wash than trying to wash the whole dog bed, which obviously I'll do if it need be, but this will be easier to wash on the regularly. I'm starting to get very tired, and I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this today, but there's not too much to do. I'm only doing the one bed and the one sheet for now, because we need her to be able to sleep in her bed. And then off camera I will finish the other bed and the other sheets. So I was trying to explain why I don't like ripping fabrics, and look, this is a more loosely woven fabric, so it was always going to be worse, but it just loses the integrity of the fabric. See here, it's like nicely tightly woven, and here it's just falling apart. And I think even with the tighter fabrics, I find that it does that too, to a lesser extent, obviously, but I prefer to just, if I can, cut it, unless it's going to be something like this, where done is better than not done. See if it fits and if it works. There we go. Got ourselves a fitted sheet. The fitted sheet did end up being a little bit on the small side, but I think it's fine and it certainly does the job, and that's all that matters. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to give it a like. It really helps me out. I upload some Sundays with art, DIY and sewing videos, and I hope to see you then. Bye!